You're watching Swanny's cricket show on Joe, together with Rubicon.
Get up to much this weekend, mate?
No, mate. Went to the cinema, actually, with kids.
Oh, nice.
The Toy Story, it's good.
Yeah? Did you see Wimbledon?
Rog. I wanted Rog to win that.
British Grand Prix as well.
Yeah, Hamilton, great win, great win.
Oh, come on, lovely.
Not like our son was there.
No.
I got some paint for the downstairs bog, though.
Oh, what colour did you go for?
Like a mauve. It's a bit different, but...
Lovely.
Should be all right.
Can you hear that?
What is that?
What's that sound?
It's coming from around here. Look at the boys, it's Monty! They can't go!
Monty Panesar here! Go, let's sit down. Monty, get in here, Mont, straight away. No messing about. Barmy Army, where are the Barmy Army? Come on! I am absolutely shattered. But welcome to Swanny's cricket show.
I've got a right finger.
How are we all feeling? Swanny, we'll start with you.
I'm feeling magic. I feel dreadful, but brilliantly dreadful. Oh, but that smoke got in my eyes, so I'll take a glass.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Classic. Monty, how you feeling, mate?
Oh, I feel great. We're World Cup champions. Come on!
And you lads, of course, you know, the life and soul of the stands and that. How are you feeling today?
Delighted, but a little bit tired, let's be honest.
You go to bed, bother going to bed or not?
No, straight here.
Good
straight
lads,
here.
well done.
McDonald's breakfast, straight here.
No, that's how they roll. I'm absolutely blowing, I'll be honest, after that. If anyone wants to get in touch, Invest, the new fitness phenomenon, me and Brighty, conquering down the street with the Barmy Army. There's a DVD in it, I'll tell you.
100%. I'm up for it. Right, one of the things we were going to do today was go outside and recreate the moment that Joss Buttler threw the ball through Steve Smith's legs to get him out in the semi-final, which is an unbelievable moment, but it seems like ages ago. An absolute small fry after yesterday.
I tell you, there's so much happened yesterday. I've never seen a game of cricket with so much bizarre goings-on. From, you know, tied in the World Cup final, super over. Stokes diving in, the ball in at his back, go for 4. By the way, anyone who's having a go at that, if it goes to 4, it's fair game. They didn't get up and run, did they? No. If Stokes had got up and started to run anyway, which you're allowed to do, it causes an absolute ruckus if anyone ever tries it. I've never screamed so loud in my life for a ball to go for 4. I won't lie to you.
And one of the amazing things about yesterday for me is the fact it was on free-to-air telly. We've spoken about this on the show before. You know, oh, we should have cricket on free-to-air telly. We've had one of the most mental games ever on free-to-air telly. Surely kids seeing that are going to be taking up cricket.
Imagine that's your first game of cricket. You're hooked for life, surely. Absolutely hooked for life.
Unbelievable. Monty, I mean, what do we say about it?
Well, get more cricket on free TV.
Yeah.
Come on, Monty.
By the way, while Monty's here, I've got to say Monty is the genius of this World Cup for me.
Right.
This is, you know, behind-the-scenes stuff that no one knows about.
Yep.
Monty's not had a ticket to any World Cup game. He's always there beforehand going, all right, Swanny, can you get us in? I went, mate, I ain't got any tickets. Within 5 minutes, this man is in full hospitality, sipping champagne every single game. I reckon yesterday at the World Cup final, there was some fella walking around, his wife left outside going, Nigel? And Monty's just doing his conga.
And I had the best seat in the house. I was behind the bowler's arm.
No way. on full blag as well.
Yes.
Have you just blagged it all the way through?
All the way to this
Tell
World
me,
Cup.
at any point, if you go up to the gate and gone...
I said, oh, I forgot my badge. I've just got to do an interview with Swanny. And they go, oh, yeah, go through.
Is that what you done? Right, if you're watching the ICC security experts, that is bang out of order, all right?
There was a bit of a WhatsApp exchange amongst me, you and producer Si. And it kind of summed up those final few minutes for the whole country. I can read it. So producer Si, when the ball hit Stokes' bat and went for extra runs, 3 messages that said, fuck-ing hell.
That's fair enough, isn't it? I've never seen anything quite like it.
It was just...
Honestly, the last hour of that game, so I was working in the media centre at Lord's. I reckon I saw about 10 balls live. There's a tiny little gap. If you walk in, you stand, there's a metal bar and then a metal sort of fence.
Yeah.
And there's a gap about a centimetre thick. I watched about 10 balls from between the gap.
The WhatsApp messages prove it, to be honest, because I messaged saying this is mental, I can't take it, and then you just said I'm currently hiding in a fucking stairwell. That's a true reflection of what happened yesterday.
It was just, I mean, and every time there was a roar, you go down and like see what it was, and then the one for me was the Trent Boult catch because it was right down in front of the media centre, so it went up, and I could see him backpedaling, but I had no idea, not with the trajectory of the ball or anything. And as soon as he caught it, the whole ground went, oh no! And all I saw was catch stand straight on the rope and then got to going.
Yeah.
But no one had noticed it. Like the whole ground was sort of going, oh shit, Stokes is out.
Well, sorry, we're gonna try and go through it in chronological order, so we'll talk about that in more detail in a bit. But all of us can get involved with this. Do you think that Kane Williamson made the right choice to bat first?
Yeah. Now, I didn't think so all day, or when we bowled. But having seen the way the game panned out, I think they got it. They didn't do a thing wrong, New Zealand. I swear to God. By the way, this joke, no Kiwis in football, that's rubbish. We're not Australian. We don't rub it in. Producer size sack for that. They couldn't have done anything wrong, anything better, and had more luck go against them. I mean, everything went against them on the day. No, I'm not bothered about it because I wanted England to win the World Cup and I'm delighted we have. But had that been Australia, it'd have been the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like diving, hitting the bat and go for 4. Imagine if that had been Steve Smith or David Warner chasing the ball down to the boundary. That's the dream, actually, isn't it? But no, New Zealand played really well. I thought if they'd bowled first, they'd have caused us no end of grief early on because of the over conditions. But they did anyway. Later on, they were still sweet. Trent Boult is the only man in the world who can swing a white cricket ball. Consistently, he's brilliant.
Right, from fans' perspective now, New Zealand posted their total. What were you guys thinking at that point? Did you think that England had enough in the locker to chase that down?
I think we were a little bit cautious of chasing in World Cup finals, not easy. Anywhere over 220, 230 would be a decent score. And we were proved.
Surely you were confident though. Surely there's a bit of confidence.
There was
at the halfway
English
stage,
arrogance, taking over in the singing and just bedlam from ball one. And the 10 pints of lager helps as well. So a lot of people saying it would be done in 25 overs. But
I was about to say, the semi-final, the Australian game. Obviously, there's 2 different ways to approach a short target. There's one, smash it everywhere like at Edgbaston. That atmosphere must have been incredible that day.
Unbelievable. It's the home of the Barmy Army, Edgbaston. We absolutely love going there. Everyone says they can't wait to get to Edgbaston to get behind the boys in that Holly stand. It was absolute carnage from the first ball.
And smashed it everywhere as well. And that is a proper Barmy Army voice box.
Yeah, I was about to say.
That is the sound of the Barmy Army on tour.
14 hours straight singing this. They didn't stop till
Friday.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
It was such an exciting game, at the end, but there were points in it where, I don't know about you, Swanny, and you, Monty, I thought we're not gonna do this.
Owen Morgan, when he got out, that was a bad moment for me. I left the ground and checked into my hotel and
really?
Yeah, it was half an hour's excuse to get out of the ground, so I couldn't watch it anymore. And then I came back. I was in a park over the road to St John's Wood. I don't know, I watched it on my phone. I could have been in the ground. I was like... And then in between, I'd click off and put Federer, Djokovic on. By the way, Roger. Oh no! But at that moment, when at the back of the box, so I'm desperately nervous. I'm pacing up and down. And this bloke keeps coming up to me and goes, don't worry, Federer's broken back. I was like, yeah, thanks, mate. Because he'd seen me on the tennis about 2 hours before this Indian media got. So I had to play along with it. I was devastated about Federer, but couldn't give a monkeys about the cricket. Oh, the cricket, mate, no problem. Is that 6 off 2 balls? No worries, mate. Oh, mental.
Monty, you were in the ground.
Of course he was. No ticket.
Blagged himself into the ground, I should say. What was the atmosphere like? And I asked you that just because on social media there were a few people, complaining about the atmosphere at Lord's, saying that, it wasn't the best. But for you in the ground, as somebody that was there, living it, what was it like?
Oh, it was just, electrifying. It was amazing. I took some videos every moment when there was a key passage. I thought the key, was between Jos Buttler and Ben Stokes.
Yeah.
You know, when Johnny Bairstow got out, I thought, getting a bit nervous, so we could be losing this one. But yet again, superhero Ben Stokes. He's a Superman now. So he's.
Is he going to be like immortalised now forever? Think of his life 2 years ago to where it is now. It's a bit of a... And that's not exactly living a life on an even keel, is it? No. Bristol Nick, World Cup hero.
Yeah.
When England needed 88 off of 60 balls, the win predictor had England with a 68% chance of winning.
Yeah, I thought that was a walk in the park at that point.
Really?
Yeah.
Still?
The second Josh Butler got out, I went for thinking... I thought that was it. As soon as you hit it in the air, I just thought, no. And Southey looked like he messed up his judgment as well. And then caught it, and I gave up at that point. That's when I got in the stairwell.
Well, I want to kind of pick the ex-pro's brains here, or someone who's not even an ex-pro, someone who you're still trying to play, ain't you, Mon? But what would have the mentality have been like in that dressing room, kind of when England were, what was it, 4 down?
Yeah.
You know, Stokes and Butler.
Well, if you notice on TV, go back and watch it, no one moved a muscle. Superstitious plays it. Even if you've got one superstitious player or coach, that is, it controls the change at that point. When Stokes and Butler were having that partnership, no one moved an inch, no one moved a muscle, stayed in the same seats. You know, if you need to pee, you pee your pants. I'm sorry, mate. It's Lords, they'll clean it up, they've got bleach and everything here. But yeah, everyone's superstitious, and you can see as the partnership goes on, confidence quietly breeds in. You can hear the Barmy Army, they just get louder and louder. Yeah. People start believing. We only need 40 or 36 balls. That's done every week these days. All of a sudden that wicket goes, and the tension, you could have cut it with a knife at that point.
Yeah.
And then when Wokesy got out as well, it's like, oh my God.
I know that you two obviously over the moon that England won, but let's try and kind of be a tiny bit impartial for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
As bowlers, because New Zealand bowled spectacularly well, it has to be said. I thought they bowled really well.
Yeah.
As bowlers, did you feel a little bit for the New Zealand bowling attack, or were you just too gassed for England?
I was too gassed for England. I do feel sorry, not for the bowling attack so much, but for the things that did go wrong. Like the like Stokesy diving, hitting his bat and going for 4. That is, you don't wish that on anyone, but it's funny if it happens to a team you don't like.
Right.
You obviously stand up and you apologise. Stokes is born in New Zealand, for goodness sake, and that's happened. There's a thing in the paper today saying I'll be forever saying sorry for that.
Yeah.
He's not done it on purpose. There's one guy, Brian Waddle, who works for TMS, who was fuming, saying he's done that on purpose. He dived in the way of the ball, went once. If he's done that on purpose, he's the best batsman ever to play any game. Without looking at the ball from 100 yards away, dive and knock it for 4. Genius. It was... they were genuinely unlucky at stages. Jason Roy, very first ball, I'd have given that out at full speed. Looked absolutely plumb LB, and then it was given not out, so he got away with it. Things like that. So, yeah, they didn't have the rub of the green Kiwis, and I feel for them because I love New Zealand. I lived there for a bit, and I absolutely love the place.
We've kind of got a bit of a bowling alliance here today. You know, we've got you two, but we've also got somebody who is an expert. If you notice, there's an empty chair next to Monty. Someone who is an expert.
It's not going to be empty for long.
Yeah, when it comes to pace bowling, ladies and gentlemen. Let's welcome Sir Curtly Ambrose on the show. Come on, get him here. Yes. Come on. I think we should jump straight into it with you, Curtly. You're impartial here. Who did you think was going to win the game before the toss?
I thought England had a better chance. I think they got a better overall team, and in the batting they really bat deep. And I thought the kind of form they were in, I figured England would have won it. I wouldn't say easy, but I thought that they had the edge.
What about the end of the New Zealand innings?
Let's face it, that wicket, you wouldn't have minded bowling on that deck, would you?
There was a bit there for the fast bowlers. It looked to be a good pitch. It ended very dramatic, didn't it? I mean,
it's just a bit.
I mean, at one point, New Zealand looked like they were going to take it. But then, of course, with Ben Stokes at the crease, you never can. Yeah. He's such a wonderful cricketer, and and then he hit that 6, and then that 6 off the bat that changed the whole complexion.
It's incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah. Poor New Zealand. I mean, I don't know. Then that super over, they ended 15 apiece.
Yeah.
I mean, these rules. I don't know about these rules, man. I don't know, but that's the rules. But it's a tough way to lose a game, really. But it was a great final. I really enjoyed it. And I don't watch cricket a lot, but I was fixed to the television. I didn't go to Lords. I didn't really You know, but I was stuck.
You could have had my ticket, mate, because it was awful for an England fan. I'm glad I was there, but at the time I would have given anything to be anywhere else.
Yeah, but I really watched it and it was a fantastic final.
Yeah.
What was everyone here thinking? And again, you guys can jump in, Mont jump in. Just this is a free-for-all, this show today, because we won the World Cup. But what was everybody thinking when we needed 2 a ball? You know, like 12 balls remaining, 24 runs needed. What was your initial thought?
That was. I was looking at it. I think it was 38 off 16 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was looking at thinking, we haven't hit a boundary for ages here. And I thought this is just going away. And then Stokes, he stepped across and he hit a 4th to the leg side. That was the first time I realised I was so invested in that game. I jumped up and punched the air in the media, but I had to apologise twice in the box. At one point, you know when Joffre bowled that first ball of the Super Over, and it was given a wide, but the batsman Neesham had stepped across the offside, and it was given a wide, and I just yelled out F off, twice at the top of my voice, as if I was in with the Barmy Army in the stand. And then threw it, and then I looked up and realised there's every journalist from the world's cricket media were there, and there's this lady from South Africa, and I said, I'm dreadfully sorry about my language, thinking she'd just go, oh no, never mind. And she went, so you should be.
Really?
Yeah, so I had to find another part of the box to watch through a little bar in. I was so invested in that game. And Jimmy Anderson was in the box as well when they won. You know, he's my best mate. He was working for Team S. Just we were sprinting up and down like little kids, like giving the big Roy the Rovers hug and everything. Oh, mate.
What about in the stands?
Oh, crazy. You know that 6 you just referred to, Swanny? You know, at a festival, when a pint pot comes over, you don't know what's in it.
Yeah.
Could be anything. That same thing happened when Stokes hit that 6, and it could have been anything, but it was fairly warm. So that's how mad it was. Unbelievable.
And you come straight from the ground, yeah?
Yeah, straight from the ground. That's why I got the jacket on. I think it was boiling.
Curtly, did you have any sympathy for the New Zealand bowlers? I've asked these two already, and they Swanny kind of said he didn't feel sympathy for them. But
not for the bowlers,
yeah.
for the team I do, but not necessarily for the bowlers.
But did you have sympathy for the bowlers?
In terms of, well, I'm always very partial to fast bowling, you know, because I hate batsmen. Because the game is too easy for them these days.
Yes,
you know, so I'm always on the fast bowling side, or the bowler side, you know, so, I mean, generally, you know, like, I mean, I'm neutral, you know. What I was quite happy to see was a fantastic final, and I wanted both England and New Zealand in the final because I'm tired of seeing Australia winning all the time.
Yes,
and they've none of the two teams have ever won the World Cup. So we need a fresh winner, you know, to make the game more interesting for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
So I was quite happy, and either way, it was a great final. That to me was there was a winner. It was a great final, really.
Right, we'll get to the final 2 overs, the Trent Boult catch that never was, the Stokes miracle, the champagne super over, and everything else shortly. But you're watching and listening to Swanny's Cricket Show on Joe together with Rubicon. This week, the TKO boys have been down in Loughborough with Dillian White ahead of his world title eliminator this Saturday. Here's his trainer, Mark Tibbs.
Good, Tibbsy.
You know, it has been challenging. You know, it has been challenging working with him, but when someone gives you your heart and soul and you can see potential in them, and we've trained on our own for a few years now, really on our own, up here. We've been through like, I've learnt about Dillian by being alone with him, and you know, and he's probably learnt about himself.
Yeah, really, yeah.
But the thing is, you know, when you click together, I understand his style. Yeah, I understand his style, I know his heart.
That's Mark Tibbs with Dillian White on this week's TKO. This, however, is Swanny's Cricket Show. I'm Nick Bryant, along with Graeme Swann.
Oh, yes.
And England have won the World Cup! Come on! My guests this week are West Indian bowling legend Curtly Ambrose over there, England spinner Monty Panesar here, and the boys from the Barmy Army as well. Wow. I mean, where do we go now? I'm completely lost in this conversation because...
I'll tell you what I'm going to say about this. A lot of people... This is an Ashes summer. I'm the biggest Test cricket and Ashes fan.
We've been over it on this show millions of times.
And yet this World Cup has properly captured me, not just because of England winning it. Obviously, if they hadn't won it, I'd still be thinking it was a great tournament. But what this could do for cricket in England genuinely excites me, because if a lot of kids did see that for the first time, I cannot get over how good a game that was.
Yeah.
My phone was going bonkers with people who I didn't even know watched cricket, or saying, my wife said, I've no idea what's going on here, like with the Super Over. And I don't remember this when I was sat with Daniela Anderson. I was going, and I had to explain, no, this is actually a new rule. And my kids are in the background. My little girl today, Charlie, who's 6, She said the cricket was amazing yesterday, Daddy. She's never watched a ball of cricket in her life. She couldn't even monkeys. She's got lovely action, though. She showed me on the phone. She's absolutely enthralled by it. So what it could do for cricket, I'm genuinely excited about.
Swanny, you mentioned superstitions inside the dressing room, you know, nobody moved and all the rest of it, but just how nervous would those England players have been in the dressing room? Owen Morgan, the skipper, like, what would he have been thinking about?
I can't speak for all those guys, because they'll have been, you know, they'll have been bogging themselves. They think they've thrown it away. Because
he didn't look like it, though, that's the thing. He looked
cool.
very calm.
He's cool, calm and collected. What I can relate to is people like Chris Wokes, who, you know, scores some useful lower-order runs, but he's next in a World Cup final, and he knows he's going to have to bat with like 30 off 15 balls. That was a situation that I'd have been in, like number 8, number 9 batsman, and I would have been feeling sick as a parrot at that point. You just don't. You're desperately hoping that the boys in the middle do it for you, the batsman, because you're next in. You know, you can only mess it up. You
say that, but you were quite handy, and also,
I know I was,
you know,
but I wouldn't have wanted to bat there. The pressure would have been would have made me feel dreadful. Well, so I felt for the tail end.
Well, I was just about to go there. Speaking of pressure for the tail end, Liam Plunkett, he played a huge role, didn't he?
He played a couple of nice ones. I'd have sent in a Dil Rashid a lot earlier than that.
Really?
Yeah, I'd have got Dylan. He's a better player than those boys, but because he's not physically as big, they sent Wokes and Jofra Archer. Not Wokes, should have gone anywhere he did, but like Archer and Plunkett, because they they can clear the boundaries.
Yeah.
But Adil's a much better player. When Adil didn't walk out to bat, I was going, oh, made a mistake here, made a mistake here. I was nervous about everything. Yeah. It's horrific.
Curtly, have you ever been in a scenario that's quite as pandemonious as this?
Well, the one that comes to mind, you know, was a test match, West Indies versus Australia in Barbados, you know, when Brian Lara made that 153. You know, I only had myself and Courtney to come, and we still needed quite a few. And of course, Australia thought, you know, it's all over. But, you know, I kind of fancy myself as a little bit of a batsman, you know. So when I went out to bat, and Lara was saying to me that he's going to give me one delivery every over. And of course, I said, no, I object. I said, like, I can handle this. Don't worry about me. He said, no. And, you know, it went well for a while, you know, and I stood there for a good while. Then the first time I had to face 6 deliveries, I was gone the first ball. So he was quite right, you know. And I gave Courtney 5 deliveries to survive. And I was like, oh, God, I couldn't trust Courtney, really. And he survived, and then we won the game. So it was very tense, you know, but you can't really show your nervousness, you know, because, I mean, you give opposition extra boost.
Yeah.
I went out there looking confident, even though I was like, boy, it's going to be tough, you know. Ben McGrath and Gillespie, 2 great bowlers. I was like, boy, I got to survive here, you know. So I looked macho and all that, but inside I was like, boy, you know.
Come on, man.
Yeah, but it works.
Yeah.
You know,
I love the mental side of cricket, kind of all the kind of pretending you're confident.
Well, I got asked about Jofra Archer at the end, saying, like, I bet you'd give me anything not to be in that situation. As a bowler, I would want to be bowling that over rather than not.
Really?
Going out at the end. Because, I mean, what I was struggling with yesterday, I can't affect anything on that game whatsoever. It's like being a passenger in a car. So you can't affect it, and it's horrible. But if you're driving yourself, you know everything's safe. You're in control. You know what I mean, though? So as a bowler, I'd want to be bowling the over. I wouldn't want to be at deep mid-wicket or deep cover.
I mean, I agree with Swanny, you know. I mean, for me, I get more nervous if I'm not bowling.
Yeah.
Hoping that the bowler can get the job done. If I got a ball in my hand, I feel well I can do it. So I prefer to be bowling than to, you know, trembling. Come on, you gotta get a job done, and I can't deal with that kind of pressure. So give me the ball and let me do it. If win or lose, I think I can.
It's all about control, isn't it? That's why a lot of people are afraid of flying, I guess, because, you know, they're not in control of the plane.
And also, planes tend to kill everyone on board if they crash. Listen, see many people when the engine goes...
Don't talk about that. I'm travelling in 2 days, Let's forget about this plane thing.
Let me just say, I don't know if I've ever said this on air before, but this is one of my favourite things about travelling in India once. We're in a new airport in like a little backstop of India, playing a one-day series. And there's this brand new airport being built. It was still gleaming. And there's a load of Indian people there who had their first ever air ticket. And they're just walking through. They haven't got a clue what to do with the gates and everything. They've got TVs up showing like various things. Air crash investigation. I swear to God, air crash investigation. Brez was going, what are they showing that for? And there's just these Indians who've never flown before just suddenly go,
I told you, Swanny's got a story for everything. He really does. Monty, I want to bring you back in, and let's try and take it back to yesterday's game, away from random airports in India. What were you thinking at the point when Trent Boult called that Stokes 6, but at the time everyone thought Stokes was going to be out, and then he trod on the rope? What were your thoughts at that point?
Yeah, when he took that catch, I thought, game over, that's it. New Zealand are going to win the World Cup. But, you know, Trent Boult, he obviously didn't realise that there was a rope there, and suddenly...
It was just, he
didn't realise how close he was to the rope.
Well, no, he just couldn't stop it because you see, he got set to take it, and he's like, oh no, I've got a backpedal, because it went a lot further than you think. When you see the actual connection, I think he's going to take 10 yards in off the rope.
It's a bit of momentum, you know.
Yeah.
Why did he step on the rope when he played against New Zealand that last ball?
It would have been West Indies in the final.
Yeah, probably. You know? But that's how it was.
Oh, that was another thing, though. You know, like with what Carlos Brathwaite did to Ben Stokes in the World 2020 final a couple of years ago. I was thinking that when we went out to bowl. Stokesy, you fancy a go? Yeah. No, only joking. Seriously, third man.
Well, Stokesy did say, actually, on one of the TV interviews afterwards, I don't know if you've seen it, because obviously you were at the ground and you were having a lovely time, but he said that he backed Jofra all the way, having been, you know, absolutely slaughtered in the last over of the World T20. And he said, look, it doesn't define you. And Jofra had done an interview and said, like, he really appreciated Stokesy putting his arm around him and saying that. Because it can go a long way, can't it?
Yeah.
He's a young player, new in the side, and now he's Sir Jofra Archer, surely.
There's a few Knighteds. If Cookie can get knighted for just nicking 15,000 runs to fine leg, I mean, surely Owen Morgan deserves one.
15 off the final 6 balls. That's where we were at.
Yeah.
Curtly, what would have Trent Boult been thinking?
First of all, you're going to be a bit nervous. And if you say he wasn't, I wouldn't believe that. Because that's about how good you are. You know, situations like that, you tend to feel a little bit nervous. Not that the car get the job done, but, you know, all the pressure and you got to get it right. So your little nerves and creeping. And
the first 2 balls were dot balls as well.
Yeah.
Because Stokesy tries to win them and turn them down. So it's 15 off 4. And when you think that he missed the slot, that was a great 6 to go down on one knee and basically sweep the seam with the 6.
Yeah,
that was a great shot. That was the one where you saw Boult was panicking a bit. I mean, the last ball, looking back on it, Stokesy batted unbelievably well. The last ball of the game, because it decided he was just going to get batted and try and leg 2. I'm sure when he went to bed last night, he thought, why not just hit that out of the ground? Because it was a knee-high full toss. Yeah. And of course, you don't want to get out. And the last thing you do, eyes open up and cock it up and get out and lose the game. But it could have been anywhere.
Yeah, that surprised me a little bit. It was a full toss, and I mean, with someone like Stokes, I thought he would have smacked it on the ground. But he played it safe. Let me try and get 2 at least. I mean, I don't know. I would have gone for the big one.
Yeah.
You know, but...
Shit or bust. Death or glory.
Well, this leads us in nicely to the Stokes miracle, then. That's what we're calling it. Has anyone here ever seen anything like it? You guys seen anything like that before?
Which one? What, the knocking itself or diving and hitting it for 4?
The diving and hitting the back.
Yeah, but he did it on purpose, remember? Yeah, right model.
No, I've never seen that. I've never seen that. You know, sometimes you hit the bat or the player, you may get 1, maybe 2. But for that to race to the ball for 4, that really was a nail in the coffin for New Zealand.
Apparently, a lot of Australian media are saying, "Oh, got the rules wrong. Should have been 5, not 6." Shut up.
Well, did you know at that point, because you were in the ground, did you understand? Because a lot of people have been kind of said that when it happened, they were like, "I don't know. Is it 6 runs? Is it 4 runs? What's going on?" Did you know what was going on?
No, I didn't know what was going on.
Monty didn't know what was going on when he was bowling half the time. How many wickets have we got? 7, Monty. You're doing really well. Great. Yeah.
What was the crowd like around you? Was everyone kind of asking, like, what's going on? What does that mean? What's happening?
Yeah, everyone was really confused. No one knew what was going on, and it was basically they thought that. Firstly, they thought, "Oh, have we lost the match?" When it tied because of wickets or boundaries or whatever. But then everyone realised it was going to a super over, and then when it went to a super over, they were like thinking, "Oh, has Guptill made the ground?"
Was it told around the ground that they needed 16 because of the boundary count? Was that common knowledge in the ground?
All right. What was going on?
Yeah. Because before you play the game, the teams get told, like, in the event of this will happen, in the event of that.
About, most boundaries and all that stuff. I mean...
I think it's just, they come down to, like, right, what... Because if they'd said, right, whoever won the game between these teams in the group stage, England would have won.
I reckon they did change that rule because, I mean, if you end up with 15, and you score 2 sixes out of scoring the boundaries, but still 15.
Yeah.
I mean, another super over.
You won another one?
Of course. I mean, look at basketball. You got overtime, double overtime, triple overtime. Football, you got penalty shootout. And if after 6 penalties, that's the league, then you continue.
Yeah, one thing that they cannot ever do is get to bowl a bowl out. Because I've been involved in bowl outs before, and they're rubbish. You see people who aren't paid for a living trying to hit one stump under pressure. It's just a joke. 0-0 for ages. It's like watching kids trying to take a conversion from the halfway line. This is never happening, isn't it, lads?
Curtly, I couldn't have took another super over. It's all the neutral's saying it. I could.
Okay, the thing is, suppose now after we're level with the score, we both have the same amount of boundaries. Then where do you go after that?
There'd have been a rule. There would have been
something that says boundaries are the same, something else, less wickets. I don't know. But I don't know. The Super Bowl is nice.
Attractiveness of partner.
You know, I don't know.
People keep mocking it. It's a working.
Yeah, they need to look at it a little bit.
We're not knocking it, Swanny. We're backing
thank you very much.
They need to look at it again. You know, I mean, I don't know. If you get 15, I get 15. It doesn't matter if I hit a boundary or not. It's still 15. You know, I mean, but we can only say it in hindsight. You know, the rules are there already. So
crosswords.
just coming up with anything now.
It's like fingers on the buzzers.
To be fair, if it was finger on the buzzer,
it's going to go next to my mastermind trophy.
I was just about to say
got that Rocket.
If it was finger on the buzzer, this man would be handy to have in your dressing room in your team. Monty, when that 6 was hit, did you think it was over? When New Zealand hit the 6, did you think England
had done? I thought it was game over. New Zealand won this, and yet again England choke it in the final. But it didn't. That didn't happen. It was something.
Well, it was 7-4, wasn't it?
Yeah.
After that.
And then I was walking, of Leicester Square, and then I thought there'll be some England fans, join in with the party or something like that. It was Algerians.
No, because
they beat Nigeria.
Yeah.
And I was like, where are all the English fans?
You're in the wrong square. It's Trafalgar Square there.
No, I was at Leicester Square.
Yeah, you were at the wrong square.
I was at the wrong square.
But no, I wanted to be at Leicester Square to see all the English fans. They must be walking around the street, not just Trafalgar Square. They've got to be everywhere in London. We've won the World Cup. What's going on? Why aren't people on the streets partying?
I can assure you we were.
They were. It's just we're a multicultural capital, man. Algeria have every right to celebrate Leicester Square as we did in Trafalgar Square, man. I'm sorry about this.
Mon, you should have just tweeted this lot.
Yeah, you should come with us.
Just tweeted this lot. Swanny, how did you react when that 6 was hit?
I got nervous, to be honest. But I didn't think it was over. The one for me, the ballsiest move that whole over was the bumpery bowled with, I think, 3 off 2 balls. Mm-hmm. And I said, Wacker Eunice in the back of the box, and I was nervously pacing up. And he went, "You're right, Swanny." And I went, "I wouldn't mind having you bowl at this point." I said, "What about a bouncer, Wacker?" Because he's not expecting it. And he said, "Yeah, but it's just too risky because there's no one. It didn't top edge anything. The game's over." I went, "Yeah, well, that's why you're the fast bowler and I'm the spinner." And he bumped him.
Yeah.
And I got away with it. I was like, "Wacker, I told you."
Yeah. At the same time, if you didn't get it right, it could have made me wider. There's so many risks involved.
That was a ballsy manoeuvre.
Yeah, so
it's quick as well.
But it worked.
Yeah.
It worked, yeah.
Well, actually, it leads me on to my next point I wanted to ask you, Curtly, which was about the wide, first ball wide. Did you think it was a wide, or did you think it was very harsh on him?
It was marginal. It could have gone either way.
He stepped over to the offside.
It could have gone either way. It was marginal. I don't know, it was marginal, really.
It was...
Never in a month of Sunday.
How it was summed up for me is... I can't remember who was on comms at the time, because by now I'm pacing around my living room.
Ian Smith.
Yeah.
It was the most pro-New Zealand commentary.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But I remember he said he can do anything but bowl a wide now. Yeah. Don't bowl a wide. And then he bowled a wide. I was like, the writing's on the wall here. We're going to, as Monty said, we're going to choke. We're going to blow it. And then Jofra Archer, what would have been going through his mind from... fellow pace bowler over there, what would have been going through Jofra Archer's mind when he stepped up for that super over?
Well, first of all, you got to stay calm. Because you start thinking too many things, then it could go horribly wrong. So you got to stay calm. He looked calm.
He did, yeah.
But I don't think he was as calm as he looked. But that's the picture you got to portray. But you have to stay calm and don't think about too many things. Just think about the one thing you want to do.
How hard would it be having not bowled for like 3.5 hours for him? Because he just came out and bowled. It's his first over, basically, wasn't it? And
it would have been hard.
Just fit,
it would have been hard because your body is cold, and stuff like that. So even though he had a few warm-up deliveries, it's not quite the same.
Yeah.
Because a warm-up is totally different than running into bowl, and the kind of pressure you're under as well. So it would have been very hard for him. But I think he kept his composure quite well. And even when he was struck for that 6, He didn't look ruffled, which was the key. And in the end, England won it.
I've got something for you, Curtly, actually, because Jofra Archer, when he was growing up, you were his hero.
Really?
Yeah, he really looked up to you. So,
okay.
Well,
he looked up to him, yeah. Everyone looked up to him. Come here a week. I'm going to tip your waitress.
Basically, I feel like it'd be nice if you could give him a message. What would you say to Jofra Archer if he was here now? Just down the camera.
I would just say 2 words. Well done.
Yeah, there you go.
Come on.
From one Fargo to another, well done.
Oh, look at that. That's nice. That's nice. Right, let's fast forward then to the final delivery. Sensational fielding from Jason Roy on the bounce, perfectly for Butler. And it had to be perfect, didn't it?
You know, Sir Jason,
Yeah.
I've been blowing smoke up his backside for weeks. I've loved Jason Roy. When he misfielded on the offside, every bit of bowler in me came out. I hated this guy. I was like, I wished ill on him and his
What a
offspring.
turncoat.
Honestly. I was like, Jason! Why? Okay, so simple, just watch the ball. And then when he did it, he went out, I love you, Jason! Never doubted you! Never doubted you! But he did well because he took his time. It's a short boundary. When you're uphill at Lords, like you're fielding at that side, you're running down to the ball because of the slope of the ground. And so it's very easy to pick the ball out and you almost to mesh your throw up. No, to go high over the keeper's head. And so he really took his time. He made sure he got it in his hands first and foremost. And it wasn't the greatest throw in the world direction-wise because Joss had to step out and dive in. But he got the bounce exactly right. You don't want to throw a half volley there or hit the stick. He got the bounce exactly right. And it was pandemonium.
It really was. Barmy Army, did you know in the stands when, the bells were taken off by Butler, did you know immediately that England won the game, or did you have to kind of wait for the review to be sure?
The ground knew, didn't
they did review.
We were at square leg.
His
Well.
Right, okay.
Okay,
Perfect.
Yeah. Perfect.
You can tell by the players' reactions, right? Everyone just sprinted off.
Well, everyone went together and then Joffa was on his own, just belly sliding there.
A really inspiring England performance, a great game, and we've already said it, but what a great advertisement for cricket. I mean, we couldn't get any better than that, could we, Barmy Army?
Fantastic. As well for the not just people watching on telly, but any kids or fans that were actually lucky enough to be in the stadium to witness that. It was unbelievable. The atmosphere at the end, it was carnage. We loved every minute, and hopefully that does inspire the next generation.
And just think now, everyone will want a replica shirt, and that idiot at New Balance only ordered 1,000 at the start of the World Cup.
Luckily for them, Swanny, luckily for them, there's Barmy Army t-shirts available. World Cup winners t-shirts. Get yourselves online, barmyarmy.com.
BarmyArmy.com, and we're allowed to do it. It's my show. I'm having one. World Cup winners. Can you get your own name and number on the back?
You can.
He won't be trust.
You can.
Yeah,
Right, well, it was pandemonium in the stadium, but here's how the rest of the country reacted.
I know he's out. I think we've won! Oh, I'm so happy, Georgia.
That is what I love to see. That's what I love to see. Come on.
I don't know if you can see this. I've got Broady sent me a video from the Notts change room. He says, watch our reactions to Stokes deflecting that ball for 6. And the change room goes absolutely mental as well. I don't know if you can see it. I'll hold it up to the camera.
Brilliant.
See, so you didn't understand what. That's a not so. That was 7. That was 7. Bottom of the league. What can I say?
Right.
It certainly was a fantastic final, one that we remember for a long, long time.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, and as I just said, it's exactly what cricket needed. It's so coincidental because, earlier on in the tournament, we've been talking about it on this show that although, Sky have been doing a great job at covering cricket, the numbers haven't been good, which isn't good for the game. Now we've seen a massive final on mainstream television.
You've got to say, though, I mean, well done to Sky for actually doing it and saying, we will go out there. And a lot of people were pushing for it, but they didn't have to. Dave Richardson from the ICC, he was massively into it. He was lobbying for it, so good on him.
Oh, of course.
Right, we're out in the Backfast area. Gaz from Backfast is with me. What have we got in store today?
So today, with Curtly being on the show, we're just going to try and recreate a ball that he was famous for, making batsmen look a little bit silly. So hopefully we do that for Swanny today.
Is it one where Mike Atherton's stumps go everywhere?
It's we can do that, but hopefully we make you look silly as well. So yeah.
And before we do it, how did you celebrate England winning the World Cup? Come on.
Well, I was working. We managed to finish work a bit early and watch about the last 15 overs.
Nice
it was
hour, that
just
wasn't it?
crazy, yeah, crazy. And I actually pulled my hamstring whilst I was celebrating, so that's good.
Good lad. Kids always warm up before going on a concert.
Always warm up. Yeah. So no, it was great. I remember it forever. Yeah.
All right, well let's do this then. Swanny, I think you're in first, mate. Right, so Swanny.
Come on then.
Set to face Curtly Ambrose special.
What is it? This is 46 all out. I'm batting number 12.
Here we go. Curtly's stepping back. He doesn't even want to see it. Right, he's running in.
He looks a bit different.
Pressure. Whoa! Whoa!
Well, yeah, I nick that. I do. Well, Boult. I'll have another one, please.
Yeah. Right, see if you can actually...
This is good bounce, something. They look good on you, those bastards.
Thank you very much, mate.
Right.
Cheers. Let's see if you can actually get some bat on it. Come on, Swanny. This is it. Oh, there's a bit on it. There's a bit on it.
That's out, son. That hurt. That really hurt.
Off the glove.
So I'm going to face Swanny, right?
No, you're going to face yourself.
You're facing yourself.
Facing no fast bowling. You know how difficult that was for the batsman?
I'd have walked off there. I think it was off my wrist rather than my glove, but I'm walking for that.
Right, Curtly Ambrose at the crease. Sir Curtly. To face Sir Curtly. Right, here we go. Oh!
Exactly.
Come on, let's do it one more
That's
time.
what facing you was like.
Let's do it one more time, man.
Almost.
Yeah, come on. One more time.
Here we go. Running down. Oh!
I'll tell you what.
No, those guys felt, man.
Exactly.
Jesus, that was quick, Swanny.
This mat's too short. That's my excuse. It bounced a bit off the mat.
Listen, that's why I became a bowler, yeah?
Here you go, mate.
I dish it out, I can't handle it.
Almost, Curtly. Almost.
Listen, that was quick, Swanny.
Yeah, I know it was.
Now, like I said, now you know how everyone felt when they saw Curtly Ambrose running down at them, ready to thunder one. You know, that was probably slower than you as well.
I was hoping to hit one and let them know it was easy, you know, but I realised it's not.
It's not.
Well, that's it from the Backfast Arena. Yeah. It's safe to say that Swanny and Sir Curtly didn't really get bat on ball.
No, I got bat on ball, just caught gully and broken wrist. So. Great.
I was backing away, damn.
Right, before we go, we are delving into the world of Rubicon's Urban Crictionary, a celebration of all the weird and wonderful terminology used in the world of cricket.
Just before we start, I think it's all a bit much for Mon. He's had to go and lie down. Bless him.
He's gone.
Love you, Mum.
Yeah.
What? It's the most sense to go out of it for 5 years, to be honest.
Right, each week we give Swanny some cricketing terminology and he's got to come up with a story to match it. Right, one place to start, Super Over.
Well, it can only be yesterday. The Super Over will go down in the history. That is the best game of cricket I've ever seen. Whenever people turn around and say Super Over now, you just know you're on about England.
Yeah.
World Cup winners.
Unbelievable. The Boult.
The Boult. Many people will say it's taking a catch on a boundary, stepping on it. I'm going to be nice to Trent Boult, the only man who can consistently swing a white kookaburra ball. What a bowler. What a World Cup he had. And it's a shame he had to be on a losing team.
He's too nice sometimes. The Stokes Miracle.
The Stokes Miracle. From rags to riches. Shithouse to penthouse. Ben Stokes is my hero. I've always loved Ben Stokes. And yesterday, he's like the nation's hero now. And he kept his cool. He played like a legend. And he didn't have to bowl the last over. Thank God. God, Stokesy!
And last but not least, the Butler did it.
I hate you, Butler. Well, just Butler. I mean, he's had a terrible World Cup with the bat from his standards. He came in, he batted like a genius yesterday. When he got out, I thought, the Butler has done it. I hate you, Butler. But he was just brilliant. And then taking the ball in the end. I think it's quite fitting that one of the senior players who's been part of this revolution of English one-day cricket was there at the end to take the ball, nip the bells off, and then just sprint off in... It was great. Everyone going in different directions. We don't know what to do.
Everything about it was wonderful. Right, that is it for this week and for our World Cup editions. Thank you to Sir Curtly Ambrose. Come on. Monty Panesar, who's gone, he's not here. The Barmy Army! We'll be back in a couple of weeks' time with the Ashes. Goodbye!
You've been watching Swanny's Cricket Show on Joe, together with Rubicon.